Hey, Screaming Geek Media here. I'm Jerry the Geek, and in this episode we are going to talk about Braveheart on 4K. But before we do, if you like physical media, if you got Blu-rays, 4Ks, DVDs, if you like home theater, movies in general, please check out my other videos. I have all kinds of stuff on here, between here on reviews, unboxings, custom cover art, discussions. Check those out, like and subscribe, and turn your bell notifications on. So let's talk about Braveheart on 4K. Mel Gibson movie that came out in 1995. It was directed by Mel, and also starring Sophie Marceau and Patrick Magoon. Brendan Gleeson also plays a role in it. He's kind of one of the supporting actors, but when you see him, you see his name, and it's like, man, it don't look like him. They did such a great job with the hair and makeup on him that he just basically resembles just a little bit of him. Basically, the movie's all about Scotland being overrun. They really don't have no king at the time being. And the King of England, Longshanks, he's basically trying to overrule, and he's come up with new stuff, and he's just raping and killing and pillaging all these, Scottish villages. So William Wallace's character wants to, he wants to just live his life out in peace, but, he secretly gets married to this girl from childhood, and of course once she gets killed, that's when he takes everything in his own hands, and from there on it's just pure bloodshed. Definitely one of Mel Gibson's finest movies, this along with Patriots, a couple of my favorites. Now this 4K release came from Paramount in 2018, originally filmed in 35mm, finished with 4K digital intermediate, has HDR10 and Dolby Vision. This is a really solid presentation, great color pops, the armor, the detail, the depth, the armor, Longshanks' wardrobe, and in one scene he's got the deep red, and then he's got his chest piece. I don't know what they call it, but it's got the old gold encrusted design on it. Very well done. The details really pop on this thing. Throughout the movie, it's not as solid. I mean, it could be better. There's some scenes that are a little soft and you don't have as much detail. The opening scene, I think, could have been better with when it's panning over the landscape, the mountains and everything. That has so much potential. That could have been breathtaking. And that opening sequence was pretty soft, and you didn't really see a lot of details. Kind of disappointed with that, but then it kicks in, and it's like, from there on, the movie is very well done here. Another highlight was after Wallace's secret wedding in the middle of the night. The two of them, they get undressed, and they're out, and I got the moonlight behind them. Just the way the moonlight shines, you don't see them. You just see the silhouettes and then highlights of them. The hairs really stand out. And early on in the village, the lord of the English lord of that village, he's got this red and white striped cape that he's wearing, and it really leaps off the screen there. Very intense. Now, as far as comparing with the Blu-ray, this is definitely a big step above the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray looks really good in itself. 4K just gives that extra bump in the detail and the depth. The color timing is way off on this. As far as, comparing the two, a lot of it, the 4K gives a lot of different hues, color tones. The skies are much richer, not as washed out. The Blu-ray does look brighter throughout most of the movie. But some people might like that. You do see some good details and everything, but at the same time, 4K with the HDR, you get it may seem a little darker at times, but at the same time, it gives it a richer feel. Allows that depth to really come out. During the dark scenes, or any of the scenes you can see stuff without having to turn up the brightness. So big difference here between the 4K and the Blu-ray. Overall great presentation, very well done. Here to check out some of the screenshots comparing the Blu-ray with the 4K. and we'll come back and talk about the audio, packaging, and bonus features. And we'll see you in a couple minutes. So for audio, this time around, Paramount gave us a Dolby Atmos. And of course, I don't have Dolby Atmos, so it's down mixed to 5.1. But very solid track here. I mean, you got your clear dialogues and narration all the way through it. It's well balanced across the front. The surrounds aren't used a lot, mainly for the ambience and the music. And of course, the music score was done by James Horner, which sadly passed away back in 2015. He did Titanic. He did some pretty good movies. Wonderful composer, and of course, the whole sound. I love the Celtic music. There's just something about it just kind of gives you goosebumps at times. So the surrounds are used heavily with the music, but during the fight scenes, everything really kicks in there. Very incredible, really intense soundtrack here. So for the packaging, they give us a slipcover. Adios. Standard keep case, the artwork. Get the 4K Blu-ray and digital. But this is actually a 3-disc set. You got the 4K, the Blu-ray of the movie, and also the actual separate Blu-ray with some extra bonus features. Now for the bonus, we have a commentary by Mel Gibson, Braveheart Timelines, Battlefields of the Scottish Rebellion, Braveheart A Look Back, Smithfield Medieval Killing Fields, Tales of William Wallace, and A Writer's Journey. I'm not sure if there's anything different here or if it's everything that's poured over from the old Blu-rays. So to sum up, very, very solid release here from Paramount. Even if you have the Blu-ray, even though Blu-rays are pretty decent, I highly recommend upgrading to this. Very well done. I just recently got this. I picked it up at Half Price Books when I was trading in a whole bunch, so that this didn't cost me anything. It's still kind of pricey. Surprisingly, the Steelbook is actually a little bit cheaper. I mean, right as I looked last night, the Steelbook you can get for $13.46, and the standard 4K is $18.89. And as far as I can see, between the two versions, there's really no differences as far as the presentations. Both have Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision. So I definitely highly recommend picking things up. You won't be disappointed. I'm sure if you haven't seen the movie, it's worth watching. Here, clock's in right just a hair over 3 hours, but you really don't think about the time. It's one of those well-paced movies. You're never looking at the clock or your watch to see how long you're into it. It's constantly moving, very well told story. Mel Gibson's turned out to be a great director, which I think he's actually taking over the directorial duties of the newest Lethal Weapon. Since after Richard Donner's passing, he was going to do the new one, but after he passed, Mel Gibson's supposedly taking that over. So that pretty much wraps up my take on the 4K of Braveheart. Please check out my other videos on my channel. Like and subscribe. and turn your bell notifications on. We'll see you soon. Geek out.